Hey everyone! We just got through watching the first premiere episode of Fear the Walking Dead on AMC tonight. I'm not quite sure how I feel about the actual series so far. Alright, so here it goes. Fear the Walking Dead is the spin-off from the hit TV show The Walking Dead. Apparently, from what I see on Wikipedia, it's still written by the same guy, Robert Kirkman, which makes it really hard for me to believe because this first episode was really slow and really kind of boring. On top of that, I'm not really in love with any of the characters. I really don't care if any of them live or die at this point. I think they're all kind of boring, or they're overacting, or they're not quite sure what the hell they're even doing on the episode. So let's backtrack. I took notes during the episode to try and give me a little something more on point to talk about. First off, the series of the Fear of the Walking Dead begins before the outbreak, or right as the outbreak is starting to take over. I'm not quite sure what city. I was watching this in a bar, so I didn't get to hear every word that was being said, but I obviously got the gist of everything that was going on. There's this character, her name is Miss C, or essentially she's the mom of one of the main characters that the focus of this episode is on. And at one point when someone's trying to tell her that they think that this outbreak is about to happen, like, hey, hello, foreshadowing, she's like, well, the authorities would tell us if something like that would happen. When have we ever trusted the authorities to tell us something first before something actually outbreaks? I feel like authorities only tell us when something has happened, once it's public knowledge and they can't hide it any longer. So that's bullcrap number one. Bullcrap number two, the guy that's at the beginning of the episode runs through the street, I guess, gets hit by a car after having a bad drug trip. And they're blaming that for the reason why he saw, you know, this girl, I guess he was hitting the drugs with or whatever. But he saw her eating someone's face off, okay? Of course. If I see someone eating someone else's face, I'm gonna think they're a fucking zombie. Okay, my other notes. It starts off very slow. Of course, the guy's in the hospital, and it's always about drugs. It's never that the guy's completely legitimate. But that was my note before the guy went through the rest of the episode, because during the rest of the episode, this guy is totally crazy. He is a super hardcore junkie, and obviously I would take anything he told me that he saw with a grain of salt. Okay? In the beginning I was like, oh yeah, they're just taking the drug racket and blah blah blah. But no, this guy was a fucking junkie. Apparently, the junkie, Nicky, got his drugs from his sister's boyfriend, Calvin. If I'm getting that wrong, and he has the black dude has a brother that's, you know, and that's who the sister's dating, then I'm sorry, because I wasn't quite sure. Things jumped around a little bit, and names weren't thrown around a lot, except for the name Nicky. And then when the guy that is the drug dealer, aka Nikki's sister's boyfriend, if I'm not wrong, finds out that he went into the hospital, I guess is afraid that Nikki, you know, ratted him out. So he's gonna fucking kill him like that? You don't just kill your girlfriend's brother just like that. You may be a drug dealer and you may have some questionable morals, and you may have, like, you know, not the best fortitude of like anyone else, but I mean, that's a little extreme. It's probably the first time he's ever messed up like that. And the dude said he didn't rat him out. He's like, ooh, I would never tell anybody what you do. But you know what, let's just drive down to this area that's flooded, and, you know, I'll get my gun out and you just relax Relax while I get this gun, okay? Catches him with it, and down he goes. Of course, he's a junkie, but apparently, you know, junkies are really good at trying not to get killed. There was this one dude who apparently is a teacher or a policeman or the husband of the mom. I can't tell what the guy is, what he does for real, because he went and checked out the area that Nikki was in, that he ran out of, saying that he had seen zombies. Now, so at that point, I'm like, all right, this guy's a detective or a policeman. He's checking the whole thing out. And then he's teaching a class. If it's two different guys and they're both like the same origin and very similar looking, then I'm sorry, I got confused. And if I'm getting confused on that part, that's a problem. I seriously hate the mom. The mom is overacting the whole way through. I think she's awful. I hope that her character turns out to be better, but right now, she seems like a terrible mom. 2, she wished that he wouldn't come home and that Nikki wouldn't come home and that she doesn't want to deal with his problems anymore. That's bullshit. Alright, so the people at the school were apparently thinking that this whole outbreak could possibly just be everybody being sick with the flu. Really? And there's a principal or a dean of the school or another student, or no, another teacher. That dude is totally typecasted to look like Obama. Totally typecasted to look like Obama. And as we saw in the preview for the rest of the season, he obviously gets bitten, and it looks like Nikki gets bitten, and it's like, you're giving me way too much. Let me see what's gonna happen for myself instead of, hey, this is the end of episode 1. You want to see what happens in the entire season? Keep watching. All right, now you've seen everything. You want to keep watching? Why? I'm going to, but it's because it's the in-between time. I don't have anything better to be watching, so I'm gonna watch it. But you didn't have to give it to me all at once. Maybe you want to watch it. So, obviously, because it's AMC, and AMC has put a lot of money into The Walking Dead, and as a result, a lot of faith into Fear the Walking Dead, the production value was very high. However, I thought some of the acting was definitely overdone. I thought the characters were really confusing. I didn't know if Calvin had another brother, and that's who the sister was with. And then whenever the sister went and visited Nikki in the hospital, I thought that was his girlfriend and that he was a cheater, and then she was cheating on him with the black dude. Then I figured out that it was his sister. The mom is really not showing any kind of motherly kind of love to either of the children. She just seems more like an authoritative figure, kind of like a policeman that's like studying the case or something. And then there's the Hispanic dude that I don't know if he's a teacher or a policeman or a significant other to the mom or what. Either way, I'm gonna keep watching, and hopefully it will turn out better. Pilots are usually the worst episode of any season, minus a rushed ending to a series. So hopefully it turns out better, and hopefully we get a little bit more out of it, and it's a little bit easier to understand. Then again, it could also be the fact that I watched this in a bar instead of sitting in a house. So stay tuned for next week and what I think about season 1, episode 2.